Hello. Now, if you are here, if you're listening to this video live, would you let me know? Let me see you by just popping your name in the chat. You just type it at the bottom there and just hit enter, and then I will see it. I started right on time tonight, so I know there are some of you joining me, and maybe you'll come along in a little while. So, hypno weight loss without deprivation. Is it too good to be true? Well, you'll find out tonight. You will find out. So I'd like to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me and don't know what I am about. Then I thought I'd let you know that. So I'm the founder of Total Life Makeover, and I give ordinary women the life they've always wanted by finding whatever's stopping you and removing it for good. How does that sound? Does that sound like a good thing to be doing? Okay, so why I am involved in this work, I thought I would tell you something about myself as well. So I was brought up in a family where there was a lot of arguing. There's a lot of arguing and there was a lot of criticism. The two are probably very tightly connected. What this brought to me was a lot of anger and a habit of arguing myself and a need for control. I think quite young, in my teens, it made me feel that my life was so wrong. I was unhappy. I wasn't unhappy all the time, but there was a general cloud over me that I felt my life wasn't right, and it was so not right that it must be because I was wrong. Hello there, Nikki and Simon. Hello. So I'm just wondering if any of you have at any time in your life felt that the reason your life is not right is because there's something wrong with you. I do come across it quite often. I don't know if that is the case for you. So fortunately, I was able to do something about it. As I grew into an adult, I began to gather tools that would help me and that would help other people. So now this is where I'm at the moment, which is helping in the major areas, all the major areas of life, helping to make your life better. So we're beginning tonight with, for the audience tonight, we're beginning with weight loss. It's a problem for many people. It might be a big problem, might be a smaller problem. So this is a general overview of what the problem might look like. So first of all, you're bigger than you would like to be, or your shape is not what you would like it to be. You think about food all the time, either eating it or not eating it, whether it's thinking that you're not going to have any or thinking that you are and wondering when you are and what it's going to be. Frequent snacking. You have cravings that are hard to ignore. Probably find that your food portions are fairly big. And some people have the need to eat until it's gone. There is no leaving anything. And often we are aware that we are eating to feel better. And usually along with this profile is another additional thing that's the clean plate club. Yes. And some people, Simon, don't only clean their plate, but they can, I have spoken to people that have been my clients, people that I've just met around, who actually, if there is a cheesecake in the fridge, the cheesecake has to be cleared, not just the plate. It's not always as bad as that for all of us, but I know there is that problem. And then also, maybe in addition to the eating problems, is exercise and activity is ineffective. So how does that sound to you? So Simon has already said he recognises cleaning the plate. Do you recognise, just let me know in the chat box, what else do you recognise from that list? Yes, Nikki says she's all or nothing. Yes, indeed. It doesn't only affect that generation, but yes, for some of us, our parents were brought up with rationing. Nikki's eating as we speak. So, if we've ever tried to lose weight and continue to maintain that weight loss, then all of us, surely all of us, have tried a diet, probably several diets. And I want to share here why diets don't work. I'm sure if you're watching this video at any point, whether you're live tonight or at any point in the future, I'm sure you know from your own experience that diets don't work. They don't work yes, you can lose weight from it. Yes, you might be able to stick to a diet for quite a while. But if you stop sticking to that diet and begin to eat from free choice, then you're no longer going to get the benefits of that diet, and the whole thing is a bust. So we know that one client said to me, "Oh, the diet, yes, I'm always dieting. I start every Monday and I've stopped by Wednesday." That might be familiar to you. The first reason that they don't work is because they require you to force a change. They're not even the diets that have got a good choice in them. There are different diets, aren't there? There are some that seem to have a wide choice of things you can eat. There's also a wide choice of things you cannot eat, and so you are required to force yourself to eat only the things you're allowed and not to eat the things you're not allowed. You stay the same. Nothing's happened to you. You stay the same, but expect different results. Now, I've looked into this. I've done some research on this, and I've learned that scientific research shows that deprivation leads to obsession. And what we're asking ourselves to do is deprive ourselves of our feel-goods. If we're needing a diet, we probably are eating to soothe. We are eating because we fancy it. We've got cravings and we don't want to resist them. So we are depriving ourselves of what makes us feel good. And scientists say this leads to anger and anxiety, and it leads to obsession and slipping into emergency mode. This is the real reason why we have the term yo-yo dieting. This is the reason why, because deprivation is not the answer, and it can never lead to anything else. Psychologists have investigated this and proved this. It will never lead to anything else. Yes, you can keep on doing it, and then sometimes you will you'll have a little break, or you stop for Christmas or go on holiday, and maybe you can keep on doing it. It still is not the answer. So here is what happens. So you feel bad. You feel bad about your weight. So you go on a diet. You deprive yourself of the feel goods. You're then flipped into emergency mode, and obsessing and anxiety and anger can be close to the surface. So you fall off the wagon, and then you feel bad again. And it's the shape of a yo-yo as well, isn't it? So that is your yo-yo. So what's the alternative? What are we going to do instead? It's far too depressing to think that we're only going to we're just going to stay too big, the wrong shape, a bit flabby looking. So this is what we're going to do. This is what I'm offering in the natural weight loss program, is we're going to change the need for those feel goods. We will reverse the unconscious decision to allow a size you don't like. If you are not the weight, shape, size that you are happy with, then at some point, unconsciously, clearly you wouldn't do it consciously, but unconsciously, at some point, you have made a decision. Your unconscious mind has made a decision to allow yourself to be a size you don't like. If that decision had not been made, you would not continue to be a size and shape, or return to, from time to time, a size and shape you don't like. We are going to also, in the program, we allow an identity change. It's really important to have that identity shift. If you're looking for answers, you will have been the wrong weight for your preference, the wrong size for quite some time. And for many people, this has been all their life. It may not be lots and lots of extra weight, but it's been there. So you've got used to that. Your mind is used to that. Your unconscious mind is used to that. Thank you, Nikki. Your unconscious mind is very clear that this is who you need to be, that there were reasons why you had to allow this extra weight. At this stage, we're not clear what they are, but there were reasons. And so it's going to, yes, Simon says, thank you, Simon. So I feel it's really important to change that. We need to allow you, we need to change things in your mind, in your unconscious mind, so that you are allowed a new identity. I never want my clients, whether it's weight loss or quitting smoking or anxiety or whatever it is, I never want my clients to tell me after 12 months, 2 years, oh, no, it worked. Yes, it definitely worked. But do you know what? It just didn't feel like me. So I started behaving the same way again. So this is why I will always use a procedure that creates this identity change. We will also disable the triggers for snacking. This is pretty magical, isn't it? Isn't it really? Being able to just switch off a trigger to snack. But it works. I assure you it works. Then we're going to take away your cravings permanently. Indeed, we are going to take away your cravings permanently. And you will see how that works. You will see how easily and how effectively that works shortly before the video finishes. I will do that for you, for all of you that are on the call. And also in the program, we will remove your big downfall entirely from your likes list. So this is, if there's anything, usually we know what our downfall is. It might be cake or donuts or chocolate, or might be cheese. And if you wish to have that changed, not if you want to hang on to cheese, that's fair enough, or chocolate, but if you wish you didn't even like something, then we will change that from being a like to a dislike. It's really exciting when that happens. And what you need to remember is you won't, I don't know why we've got that in again, you won't miss it. You won't miss it. You won't be going, oh, if only I hadn't done this on chocolate. Because no, chocolate will be as white noise if you choose that for your downfall. So I just want to run over here what the natural weight loss program gives you. It will allow you to return to how you were naturally created, where your needs allowed you to thrive. I'm not sure how many of you will have come across the idea before now of the constructed self. It is a psychology term, but I'd like to explain it so you know what it is. So we are born without any issue. Well, possibly without any issues. Certainly with very few. I do believe there's a way that we can inherit some stuff, even in the mind. But largely, we are a clean slate. Okay? We're a clean slate. But as we go through life, starting young, as we go through life, we start to protect ourselves. And therefore, we're constructing protections. We're kind of putting bits of boilerplating on and riveting it. There's a bit here and a bit there and a bit there about whatever's happened to us. So the constructed self begins to be a different identity, if you like, a flawed identity, because these protections are things that have gone wrong. They're protections that have not actually done only the job that your unconscious mind want to have done. They're causing problems as well. So the constructed self is not who we really are. Just would you just type for me and let me know, are you aware of this yourself? Are you aware that there's who you function as, but also there's a different version of yourself that from time to time comes through, or that could come through? Just let me know if that makes sense to you. And whether that makes sense to you or not, just let me know if... Yes, exactly. Yes, so Simon's saying yes. It also, the natural self, so underneath the constructed self is the natural self, isn't it? Then Simon says that also comes through without his knowledge sometimes. Yes. And it's a lovely moment, isn't it? A lovely moment when that happens. So this is the aim. This is what the natural weight loss program does. It allows you to return to how you were naturally created, where your needs were needs that allowed you to thrive. They were not needs for donuts and too much chocolate and burgers and everything. How that will be achieved is we will remove those false needs so that you can eat what you want and be the shape and size you like. This will give you a freedom. We will give you, by the processes that happen during the sessions, I'll give you a freedom and a clear choice to apply your knowledge and wisdom around eating, because we all know, don't we? We all know. We've all got a strong idea of what's good for us. And I'm not certain that I don't think I accept that it's always exactly the same for all of us. I do accept there's a uniqueness, but we all know. We know whether it's whether it's burgers morning, noon, and night, or should there be a salad in there from time to time. So, and the reason we don't eat as we are so clear about, we don't eat healthily, is because we don't have freedom of choice. So the procedures will clear away some of this construction to give you freedom and a clear choice to apply your knowledge. This will allow you to maintain your body shape naturally, without effort, and enjoy treats of your choice. There are treats, and there are treats of whatever you choose. There's no counting of points or sins or anything like that. There's just, you will be in a position to follow your natural urge, and you will be free to moderate and free to have a treat. And it will not lead to derailment. There will be no falling off the wagon, because there's no wagon, So one of my clients said to me, I don't know if you can see this or whether my picture is over it, but she said, I know I can stick to this because, well, there isn't anything to stick to. And indeed, that is true. There is no wagon. All my clients notice there is no wagon to fall off. So, Simon and Nikki, are we ready to remove some cravings? First thing I'd like you to do is choose something that you crave. Maybe you've thought about this already. Choose something that currently you crave, and let me know when you've... Wine gums, Simon. Wine gums. Okay. So tell me, so just tell us, and Claire, bread. Oh, bread. Nikki, tell us what your craving is that you've chosen. I don't know, Nikki might be right now eating chocolate as we speak. Do you think she's abandoned us and gone off to grab a chocolate bar? Well, we'll see. We'll see if she comes back in a second. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is think deeply. I want you to really savor the enjoyment of your craving. So if it's your wine gums, Simon, just really think about. I don't know if you eat one at a time or two, or do you put a handful in, and just think about the texture. They've got particular texture. And do you know, I don't even like wine gums, but my mouth's watering now as I think of it, because they've got quite a strong fruity flavour, haven't they? And they're chewing, all that chewing. So just think about that. And Claire, the very best form of bread, because there's bread and bread, isn't there? But you just think about your favourite bread with maybe with something lovely on it. Maybe lots of butter on it. I'm not sure. Maybe butter's not. Yes, butter, thickly spread with butter. Exactly. Sliced butter. There's no point in scraping on and scraping off with butter, in my opinion. So as you think about that, just give me a rating as you think about that, and as you think about that enjoyment, how that enjoyment feels to you. Can you give me a rating from 0 to 10? how strongly, as you think about it now and really delve into it, how strong your craving is. Give me a number from 0 to 10. So it's 9 for Claire. Simon, just give us a rating. Your wine gums, 0 to 10. What will it be? You just type a number for me in the chat box. So while we're waiting for that, I'd like you now to find the image for that enjoyment. It most likely will include the food that you crave, but just whether it does or it doesn't, sometimes the image might just be a symbolic thing. And we're just looking for whatever it is that springs to mind as you think of and as you savour enjoying that particular food. And just let me know, just type yes when you've got your image, please. Great. Okay. I don't know. I think Simon's gone off to eat wine gums as well, Claire. So we'll continue with you anyway. And if Nikki comes back and if Simon's got a rating for us, you can come in as you're ready. So I'm going to ask you, so if you can just answer me in the chat box. Is your image black and white? Is it grayscale? You know, that kind of some black, some white, but mostly grey. Or is it colour? And then think about, does it have a frame? Does it have a frame around it? Does it have an edge to it or an end to it? Or is it just going on all around you? Is it panoramic? Right, it's black and white for Claire, no frame, and it's just on a plate, and the image would go on forever. It's just as if it were in real life. Okay. Is there any sound? No. And what can you feel in your body as you think about that bread and as you think about eating it? You look at it and maybe there's a smell. Maybe there is a smell. Bread tends, but yes, there is, isn't there? There's a smell for bread. And actually, I find there's a smell for butter too. Yum. Yum. And what emotions come up? Can you just look for the emotions that come up? You needn't type them in. You can just connect yourself with those emotions. And then, I think this is the last one, you make absolutely sure, yeah. Then I'd like you to notice how big the image is and where it is. And just let me know when you've got all of that. when you've got all of that in your mind. Yes? Okay, perfect. So now this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to change the colour. If any of you listen to this on the replay, you can still do this. So I'll speak for anyone who hasn't written in the chat box as well. You can still do this by following my advice. So whatever it is, black and white, grayscale or colour, I'd like you to change it to one of the others. So Claire, would you change yours from black and white to colour, please? And then if it has a frame, I'd like you to remove it. If it doesn't have a frame, then put a frame around it in your mind, as you see it in your mind. Just crop it. If it's panoramic, meaning it's, you know, it's just going on around you, then crop it. Now, about the sound, I'll go through this in two ways for those that listen to the replay. So if you have no sound, then I would like you to choose an inspirational piece of music. Piece of music, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be hippie music, meditation music. When I say inspirational, just whatever piece of music, song, or classical, a piece of classical or opera or anything, just a piece of music that when you hear it, it gives you a lift. And then if there's no sound, once you've got that piece of music in mind, I want you to notice that at the bottom right-hand corner of the image you've got in your mind, and if there's no corner because your image is now panoramic, nevertheless, just slightly to your right and slightly below where your eyes will normally be looking, just down there, bottom right, you will see a dial. And this is the volume dial. Now, if you have no sound and you've got your piece of music ready, I want you to turn that dial to the right. Keep on turning it. Keep on turning. Keep turning to the right until that music comes in. You will hear it come in. And stop turning when it's the volume level that you want, that's perfect for you. Now, for those of you that had a sound, maybe the sound of sizzling in a pan, if that was appropriate, or the sound of crunching of something. If you had a sound, then you will use the same dial, but you will turn it to the left. And as you keep turning it to the left, you'll see, just keep on turning it until that sound has gone, until it's turned so low that you can't hear it. Now, whatever it is that you are feeling in your body, you will notice, and wherever you're feeling it, you will notice that there's a slider along the bottom of your image or lower down on your image. It's at full at the moment, at the right-hand side. I'd like you to move that slider to the left slowly. Just slowly move that slider to the left until what it was you could feel in your body is gone to nothing. It's reduced so much that you can no longer feel it at this moment. The emotions that come up I'd like you to change those emotions, change the strength of those emotions, no matter what they are. Some of the emotions that come up might have been good ones. They might have been excitement or enjoyment or yum. Or there may have been some guilt, there may have been some fear, there may have been some shame or sadness or whatever. Whatever they are, I want them reduced. So you notice the dial on the left, bottom left, to the left and down. Turn that to the left. Keep on turning until those emotions have become no longer noticeable. And now, however big your image is, I'd like you to make it tiny as possible. And now that, and also notice whereabouts it is. Wherever it is compared to you, it's most likely going to be within arm's reach. Wherever it is, just notice where it is. Now, because you've changed the colour, you've changed the framing, you've altered the sound, you've changed how it feels and the emotions that come up. You've reduced the emotions to 0 or almost 0. Because you've done all of those things, now you will be able to move that image. And I'd like you to put that image far away from you. Wherever it is you live, for example, if there are houses across the road from you, I'd like you to put it in their garden. In fact, you could put it in their back garden. And now you've moved it a long way off. Maybe you can't even see it. Now we're going to destroy what's left of this. It's really tiny and it's in your neighbour's back garden. We're going to destroy it. Have a think for me and type in the box how, just ask your unconscious mind, connect with your intuition and tell me, how should we destroy this for you? What's going to be the way of destroying it entirely? And just type in the box for me, please. It might be, there are all kinds of possibilities, and I can suggest some, but usually you will know how it's got to go. You could burn it. You could, it depends how big it is now, we could crush it. We could wash it away. What do you think, Claire? What's going to be the best way to destroy this? Just let me know. It's probably only going to be a simple way. Just something simple. So let's go with a suggestion. If you're, Claire will find what, here we go. Oh, she's going to crush it in her hands. Okay. So you will have to pop over to your neighbour's garden then. Open the gate carefully, go around there, pick it up from where it is and crush it in your hands, and then, or stamp on it. Okay, so which one are you going to choose? Tell me which you're going to choose. I can read yes, now, Nikki, I can read. I couldn't read. I didn't see anything from you earlier. But hopefully you're keeping up with us. So you're going to stamp on it, Claire. Ah, right, brilliant. Okay, Nikki, good. So, okay, stamp on it, Claire. And now, when you've stamped on it, and Nikki, yours is bread, right? And you're going to blow your bread up, right? Fantastic, fantastic. So, Claire, when you've stamped on yours, there will be a residue, won't there? It won't make it invisible. So what will you do? It's a good idea. What will you do when you've stamped on it? What will you do with what's left? And Nikki, you're going to blow your bread up like Guy Fawkes. So Claire's going to bury it. Now, what I'd like you to do then, Claire, because I'd like this to, and we're both burying. So Nikki's going to pour water on it and then bury it. Right, so you pour your water on it. You do your stamping, Claire. And then when we're ready to bury, this is what I'd like you to do. You know those drills, those really, I don't know what they're called, there's a name for them, isn't there? They use it to drill for oil in the ground, not in the sea. Well, either one, in the sea or in the ground. I'd like you to use one of those drills to drill a hole that goes right, because this is we can choose, right? This is in your mind, you can choose. You can have whatever tool you like and you can decide it can do whatever it likes. So I'd like you to drill right down to the center of the earth. And this drill, like with drilling for oil, this drill is actually, it's a tube as well. So then you can scoop up whatever's left and tip it into the top of the tube once the hole is drilled right down to the center of the earth. And then the remains of your bread is in the center of the earth. And we all know what's there, don't we? It's not a safe place for bread, is it? It's not going to survive right down there. So tell me when you've done that. Just type in for me when you've done that. Another, that's done for Nikki. I'll just add here as well, if you don't want to bury it, if it doesn't feel right to bury it, you actually want to do something else. Another thing you can do, if you get it into a state where it's a powder or ash, if you burnt it and it becomes ash, you can create a huge leaf blower in your mind, a huge giant one. And as you blow it, you see that it goes up into the sky, point it to blow up into the sky, and it will go right up to the universe. I want you to keep doing that till it's right up in the universe. Now I'm going to say to you and to any of you sending it up into the universe, what I'm going to ask you all now is, could you get this back? Is there any way, Claire and Nikki, is there any way that you could get this back now that you've done all of that? I wouldn't, personally, I wouldn't like to try. I wouldn't like to be going, Claire could cut another slice. But this... And Nikki's few flakes are trying to drift back. Are they drifting back up the drill? In that case, get your leaf blower. Get your leaf blower and blow them up into the universe. But Claire, the piece that was in your image, not the piece that was in your image, that image, is there any way you could get that image back? Nikki's has gone there. Okay. No. Perfect. Okay. So now let's just do a test and see where we've got to. 0 to 10. Now this is just a test, and you will know it's a test in your mind. You will know better when it comes to the next time you're tempted. As you think now about the next time you might be tempted to eat bread, how does that feel? Tell me what's changed about your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions about eating bread. It's charred and horrible, Nikki. Yes, brilliant, fantastic. So 0 to 10, and Claire's is muddy. So 0 to 10, what's your rating now as you think about it? As you think about eating bread, 0 to 10, how much appeal does that have? 0 to 10. Nikki's is a 1. I can live with that. If I was working, if this was in the program, I would remove that 1 as well, just because I'm a little bit pedantic like that. But a 1 out of 10, I don't think any of us would consider is a craving, is it? So I think you'll have a lot of freedom of choice now that that's a 1. And Claire, what's your number? Now, for any of you listening to this on a replay, Claire's is 0. That's fantastic. Well done, both of you ladies. So, any of you, excuse me, any of you listening to the replay, if you have anything higher than a 1 or a 0, even a 2, anything higher than 2, 1 or a 0, get in touch with me, and I'll work with you by phone. You won't need to come anywhere or pay anything. Get in touch, and I'll work with you to just remove those remaining things. I've never had to do it yet. So far, it works. It works first time. That's brilliant. Thank you very much, ladies, for that. So now, what I'm going to offer you is I'm going to offer you a free 45-minute exploration session, where in that session, this is a phone session, in that session we identify your specific problems, because we're not all the same. We're not all the same at all, are we? We know this. We will also find your perfect outcome. Your perfect outcome might be different. It usually is. It's not one size fits all. Not even in weight. We'll check in that exploration session that this method will work for you, that this program will give you what you want, because I only work with people that I know I can help. It's far too disappointing to take money from you for a result that it turns out I can't give you. So I've not yet had to turn anybody down, but I do need to check. And the other thing we can do is find out how to make, there's a typo here, look, find out how to make it affordable for you. So one of the ladies on my weight loss program recently said to me, she'd had hypnotherapy for weight loss at one point, and she said it wasn't any good. I'm not saying hypnotherapy is not any good. I use clinical hypnotherapy myself as well, but that was all that was done, and it is not all that. It's not the only tool I will be using in the program, not by a long way. So she said, so I said, why is this better? And she said, this unpicks the causes and gets to the root, and it changes your way of life. It certainly does. So here is, we're back to this screen now. So here is my email address and my phone number. Do get in touch. If you've registered for this video, I will get in touch with you to see where you want to go from here. But if you want to do that before I get to you, there's my contact details. I'm also on Facebook. You'll find me on Facebook. If you type in Total Life Makeover, you will find me there. And we are finished. Thank you very much, ladies. I think Simon has gone off to eat wine gums. That's what I think has happened to Simon tonight. But thank you ever so much, ladies. And I look forward to speaking to you both later. Bye-bye.